The views, opinions, and positions expressed in this podcast called Mood Food are in no way the views, opinions, and positions of the Department of the Air Force, DoD, United States government, including resources listed today.
Hi everyone, I'm your host for Mood Food Podcast, Jason Gordon. We made it. It's Wednesday. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, you're listening on all of the podcast platforms out there, or you're listening from the Facebook page or Instagram. We thank you for your time today. We thank you for leaving all the reviews and for sending in the emails. We love hearing from you. If you have any show ideas or would like to leave us a review, email that to us at moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com or go on the Apple Podcast platform. Give us some stars, leave us a review. We love hearing from you. And I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So, hey, we're going with it today. Today is a very special show. I have a very good friend from the Navy, Barry Gross, and today he's going to be sharing, he lives down in San Diego, and today he's going to be sharing a personal story about some of the struggles that he has dealt with over the years. But most importantly, how he has continued to overcome those struggles, what he does on a daily basis to keep his mind in that positive mindset. He produces the most amazing home and garden type projects that you will ever see. They are creative and they are useful, but most importantly, they are beneficial to him to keep his mind busy. This guy's a great guy, and I really sincerely appreciate him taking time to offer a quick little project for you to try at home today, but also tell a little bit about what he has faced over the years. So without further ado, Mr. Barry, go ahead and take over, and then whenever you finish up, we'll come back, and I will have Othel read a review, and then I will leave you with a great quote. So Barry, take it away, kind sir. We love having you, and we're so thankful that you decided to be on today's show. So go ahead, Barry, take over, sir.
Hello, my name's Barry, and Jason Gordon is a good friend of mine, and he asked me if I could make a video for his Mood Food channel. I'm kind of an artsy crafty kind of person at home, and I like to kind of goof around and create new things, and I was thinking, what can I make that's really simple? Supplies are easy to come by, cheap, and not take up a lot of space. Something you can do without like banging your head up against the wall trying to figure things out. So anyway, so here we go. Let's start doing something. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start off with the silicone mold here. This is usually, well, I don't know exactly what it's used for specifically, but I bought it at Michael's Arts and Craft in the cake decoration stuff, so I guess it's made for candies or something. But yeah, silicone mold, all right? So we got that, and we have some plaster of Paris. Is this really backwards? Because I'm using the selfie camera on my iPhone, but I swear it says plaster of Paris. However you say that backwards, but yes, it's plaster of Paris, okay? All right, I'll stop goofing around. So we're going to put some plaster of Paris in the cup here, all right? One of these red cups. And fill it about halfway full. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get on out, get on out, get on out. There we go. And we're going to add some water to that. And when you add water to plaster of Paris, it shrinks down, whatever you want to call it. It's about half as much once you add the water into it, all right? So, with that said, here comes the water. We're going to pour some water in there and stir it all up, all right? Pretty simple. And start off adding less than you think. You can always add more. It's kind of hard to take away. And do a good stir on it. And my countertop has some paper bag material on it, so if I spill it, no big deal. I tear off the paper bag stuff, start over again. I don't have to worry about a big mess. Shouldn't be a big mess anyway. But yeah, all right. We are almost ready. Hopefully I made enough for the whole mold. If not, I can at least make a couple of stars in it. That's the silicone mold shape that we have, all right? So I'm going to pause this for a minute and make sure that the right consistency of the plaster of Paris is good. You want it just about in between whipped cream and peanut butter. Not too watery, but just a little bit. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that. I probably got just a little bit over a quarter of a cup in there. And all the little chunky bits are all stirred out. It's nice and smooth, the mixture. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up the whole tray, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing here anyway. So you just pour it on in to the mold. And be a little sloppy with it. Who cares? Especially if you have paper sack stuff like I do underneath the surface that I'm working on. All right, there we go. And a little wooden stick. You can use whatever you can find to fill it all up and spread it out evenly. Now there's going to be bubbles in the plaster of Paris. So after you get it all smoothed out and kind of filled into all the holes, you're gonna kind of shake it out a little bit. All right. So like icing on a cake, I guess you can kind of think of it that way. All right, we are going there. We're making it. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, there we go. Now you can, after this sets and dries, you can paint them. You can do whatever you want to. You can glue them to a wood, a piece of wood, and decorate the wood up and whatever. But for right now, we're just showing you how to make a little plaster of Paris stars. And all right, we're getting there. I'm not very good on video, so I repeat things a lot. All right, we're doing all right here. Now, I'm gonna kind of, if I had this on like a plate, like I probably should have, I could probably shake this out a little bit more nicer. But this is working just fine. Just kind of pick it up, slap it back down, get all the bubbles to the surface, and just kind of smooth it out a little bit more. Now, this is kind of a quick demonstration, so there still might be some bubbles left after all this is said and done, but we're doing okay. This is just for demonstration purposes, not for perfection right now. All right, there you go. I'm going to leave it like that, probably let it set for, I don't know, maybe an hour or something like that, and we shall see how it turns out, okay? Okay, it hasn't been an hour, but I just thought I would show just another little way, another angle that shows how I'm just kind of smoothing it out here, okay? There we go, just using the little stick and kind of gliding it across the top, getting rid of the excess stuff, and we're just going to leave it like that, all right? And we shall see how it turns out soon. Okay, I thought I'd add this. Jason, he speaks from the professional side, and he's really good at what he does. I just wanted to speak from my side. He deals with a lot of people with depression and stuff like that, and different topics. And I want to talk from my side. I've dealt with depression. I've been in a really, really bad spot mentally. Many times, dozens of times, maybe even close to 100 times. And best advice I could give you, and you've probably heard it from people like Jason or others, is you got to get up and you got to keep moving on. And sometimes it can be really, really hard to take that information into your head, but that's what you're going to have to do. And I'm just noticing, on a lighter subject, this right there next to the skeleton is my son's chewing gum. And instead of a trash can, he likes to just put it right there on the counter. Thank you, Jonathan. You're such a darling young child. Thought I'd lighten up the mood there. But anyway, so my thing is being creative. I like to keep myself busy, mentally thinking of how to make different things. And people think of arts and crafts as cutesy. What am I going to be doing? Drawing and painting flowers all day and pretty little foo-foo stuff like that. If you like it, good, do that. But most guys got an ego thing where they think, we can't be doing kind of things like that. So, guys, you can also make stuff like this. I made a tiki torch that looks like a skull. Well, it is a skull tiki torch. I made a tiki torch that looks like a tiki. That was made out of a water bottle. A water bottle I filled with cement, and I put some plumbing parts inside. This right here looked and was one of those, a little plastic voodoo kind of thing. Bought at Party City for Halloween years ago. And I split it right down the mold seam. This is really hard to do because I can't see how it's showing up on the camera, but there's two sides to this. I put them together, and yeah, like that. I taped them. I filled it with cement, and that's how this was born. It's made out of cement. Now, to get the black coloring and stuff on there, shoe polish. I rubbed it down with shoe polish, and it worked out great. So you don't have to make cutesy little things being on the artsy craft side. You can also make little lamps and stuff. I made this out of a plastic piece of fencing material, and used some little plastic tubes to make the holes in there. And this is the top of a tiki torch. There's a flashlight in there. If I turn out the lights here, will it show up? Yes, there's a light in there. It's actually a flashlight in there right now. But anyway, my point is, stay busy, keep your head straight, and don't dwell on things, and listen to other people when they're telling you how you're coming off, and that you may need some help. Get the help if you need it, all right? Had to show this off. I actually put some lamp oil in the tiki torch that I made here, and this was probably one of my favorite things that I've made. It turned out really cool. It looks really old and everything. The copper fitting here, I actually hit it with a torch to get the gloss and the brand newness of the copper off and make it look kind of aged and everything. Turned out really well, I think. And it didn't show up on the video yesterday because I was kind of out of range on it, but this came from a Halloween thing. And here, I'll just show you. I cut the thing right along the seam here. It was attached to a little plastic pole before. Then I taped it all up and filled it with cement, put in some copper plumbing parts in there, and a cotton wick. I think the wick was actually a part of a roll for clotheslines. I think that's what it was. Original purpose was the rope, and it was like in a 50-foot section. So if you do decide to make one of these things, make sure it's natural fibers, and because otherwise, if it's nylon or polyester or anything, it's not going to hurt anything, but it's going to crank out a lot of smoke, and it's probably not going to be something you want to burn inside your house. Even with the clothesline, it even has like a little polyester strand right in the middle of the rope. You just got to pull that out, and then you have the rest of the natural cotton fibers that don't burn all the nasty stuff. But anyway, just thought I'd show that, and this is a close-up of how the shoe polish turned out on the cement and everything. All right, so again, it's getting late, but yeah, again, this is one of my creations that I just really liked. You can create things, you can make things look cool. Get out there and do some things, all right? Okay, I also said I was going to check on this thing after like a couple of hours, and no, I'm going to let this thing sit overnight because I'm not exactly sure how long plaster of Paris takes to actually just solid dry. You know, it can be dry to the touch on the top, but it can still be kind of moist in the middle, and when you plop it out of the mold, it's going to crumble, whatever. Be on the safe side, people. Just leave it in overnight. Give it a good, I don't know, 6-7 hours, just to be safe. Make sure, you know, that it's good and dry overnight, okay? All right, so just thought I'd put that out there, all right? Hello. So it's the next day, and we're going to see how these little star things turned out. And here we go. Got the tripod all set up nicely. And they're still a little bit cool to the touch, which means they're still got a little bit of moisture left in them. So anyway, let's get to it. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. All right, so here we are, and we are taking them out of the mold. And here is one. And it's got a little bit of residual stuff left from the mold. You just crack that off, no big deal. All right, and shook out the bubbles pretty well, it looked like. There we go. Yeah, so plaster of Paris star. You can let these dry for about another couple of days or something. Make sure all the moisture is out of them if you're going to paint them or anything, because if they're still wet, there's going to be that moisture barrier, and your paint's just going to flake off and everything. You can drill a hole if you want to, or just glue something to it. You can kind of hang them up on a wire or something. But yeah, so let's get the rest of them out. That one turned out pretty good. No bubbles in it. And I'm sure some of these will have bubbles in it. Well, we'll see anyway, if they have bubbles in them or not, from not shaking out the all the bubbles in the plaster of Paris before it's set. So far, so good. I think there was some dust or something left in the mold, and you know, there's some little discolorations in there. No big deal. If you want to, you can. If you get stuff like that in your mold, just and if you want to leave them plain, just use a really fine sandpaper or something, and they'll clean right up. All right, we're just going to keep on going. Here we go. Yeah, all is nice. I think I got all the bubbles out of the plaster. They're turning out pretty well. A little bit of dust, like I said, from the mold. That kind of set in with the plaster of Paris, but yeah, quick fix. We're just going to keep on trucking. So you get it. Okay, here's a couple of bubbles right here. I don't know if you can see those. Is it going to focus? Okay, yeah, well, maybe you can see them. All right, but not a big deal. A little bit of paint over them, or you can just leave them like they are. No big deal. They look fine to me anyway. I can do this for a while, but anyway, the plaster of Paris thing, the plaster of Paris stars turned out really cool. And like I said, you can glue these to a piece of plywood, you know, like a 1 foot by 1 foot square piece of plywood. You can paint them. If you're crafty enough, you can even, there's some spray-on adhesive. You can like put a little bit of spray-on adhesive on there and put them on whatever you want to. So, yeah, that's my craft for today. Okay, well, 2 days since I left, since I went 1 day letting the plaster of Paris dry. All right, blah, 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 blah. That's me yapping away. And, all right, anyway, again, the best thing for a mood is to stay busy, creative. Look on YouTube for stuff. If you're curious about something, they got a YouTube how-to video on whatever you're thinking about, more than likely. All right, so I'm just going to pluck away the rest of these. And all right, stay busy, stay creative, stay positive, all right? And they didn't turn out too bad. All right, just had to show one more shot. All right. There you go. All right, toodaloo.
Thank you so much, Barry, for being on today's show. We are so grateful for your testimony and what you do, most importantly, to get through those difficult times. I'm telling you, folks, please check out some of the pictures on his Facebook page, Barry Gross. You can look him up, and I will tell you, you will be impressed at the videos and the things that he has made to really improve his backyard and his own personal life. I'm so proud of him. I look up to him, and he's such a great friend. And Barry, once again, thank you for taking time to share your story with us today. And so when we come back, I will read you a couple of quotes. But right now, Othel is going to give us today's review. So Othel, please take it away.
Today, I'm going to be reading a review posted by Smile, smiley face emoji. And it states, "Great listen, spreading great knowledge and awareness to key issues we are facing in today's society. Worth the listen." We want to thank Smile, smiley face emoji, for the great review. If you would like your review read on an episode of Mood Food, please email your comments to moodfoodpodcast@gmail.com or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you for tuning in.
And thanks, Othel, for reading today's review. I'm going to leave you here with a couple of quotes. And this first one is by Mary Lou Cook. "Creativity is experimenting, growing, taking risk, breaking rules, making mistakes, and having fun." You have to get out of your comfort zone, folks, in order to be creative. So embrace it, go with it, and you'll be impressed as well as others to see how you've taken some of those life struggles and made them a beautiful future for yourself or home project. Another quote here is freedom means the right to be different, the right to be oneself. Ira Eisenstein. You know, I'm grateful for the freedom to be uniquely and fully myself every single day. That is why I love serving in the military, because it protects that right and freedom. No matter who out there may not agree with my lifestyle or whatever, I make sure that I protect your right to disagree. And we're not always going to agree, but I can guarantee you're still my friend, and I will still support and defend till my last breath to make sure that you will always have that right. Be safe, everyone. Be kind to each other, everyone. And until the next episode of the Mood Food Podcast, I'm your host, Jason Gordon, signing off. We'll see you next week, everybody.